Have you ever found yourself in an awkward situation with a coworker, an acquaintance, or even a stranger? Have you ever experienced sitting next to someone you know but don't know what to say, or are desperate to talk to someone but don't know how to start? Starting a conversation can be quite overwhelming or even scary at times. Some find it easy, but for some it can be traumatic. Experience of being ignored or rejected or not knowing what to say in the middle of the conversation are some of the reasons why other people pass on the opportunity to talk to someone. While it can be scary at times, starting a conversation may lead to enjoyable discussions and can even give you more knowledge on some topics. You can also gain new friends or simply enjoy the passing of time while waiting for the bus to arrive or making the long wait in line more pleasant. If you're one of those having difficulty starting a conversation or talking to someone, this video is for you. We will be discussing strategies that can help with how to talk to someone and how to start a conversation. You might be surprised it becomes easier for you the next time you try. Welcome to Thrivetastic. If you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? And as always guys, give this video a thumbs up for that YouTube algorithm. Speaking with other people is a skill in itself. It takes more than just being able to start a conversation with someone. You also need to be able to keep them interested, share fascinating facts, and refrain from other poor conversational behaviors. While some people are natural, others could use some help. This handy manual on how to converse with anyone about anything was created for that reason. Whether you're in a coffee shop, a cocktail party, or a conference room, the following advice will help you handle conversations. So, here we go. 1. Introducing yourself. While not appropriate in every situation, the standard "Hi, I thought I'd introduce myself, my name is so-and-so" will work well. As strange as it may sound, if you approach someone and introduce yourself, they will feel more special. Being the first to speak to someone requires courage, and the fact you made an extra effort to carry this out will make the person feel important and most likely encourage them to converse with you. 2. Asking for help. It's not necessary to start a conversation with a brilliant opening line. Asking for assistance is a good place to start. It may be a good discussion starter if used correctly and in the right situation. Even if you already know the answer to the question, this strategy can be a wonderful way to initiate a conversation with someone. For instance, if you're waiting for a bus, you can ask, "Excuse me, do you know how often the bus runs?" Because most people enjoy being of service. 3. Asking for their opinion. Make use of the fact that each individual sees the world differently by starting to ask them about their opinions. For instance, what do you think of this place? Which coffee blend is your personal favorite? Start by talking about things that are more carefree, such as your surroundings, your favorite foods or beverages, or music. This should inspire you to have a brief but engaging conversation. You can add your thoughts to the discussion if the other party is willing to hear them out to keep it moving. 4. Referencing a topic that has a mutual appeal. Making a reference to a recent event is another effective strategy. For instance, if you were listening to a talk, you may strike up a conversation with someone who was also there. It makes it simpler to refer to a specific subject. Say you go to a Tony Robbins event. You already know that everyone else who will be there is most likely a fan of his. So you might inquire about their favorite books or whether they watch his Netflix special. The idea is to attempt to keep the subject you mentioned quite particular. You may create a lot more opportunities for natural discussion by focusing on a single topic. 5. Using subtle humor. Humor is another strategy for starting a conversation with someone, when used at the right time, of course. You probably don't want to do this at a funeral. The key is to use humor as a tool and avoid making jokes about other people. Avoid sounding unpleasant or offensive in any manner and instead try to make people laugh along with you. Be sure that your humor relates to the topic at hand or the situation. If you have a prepared story, save it for the appropriate moment. 6. Be updated on the news. The easiest method to always have something to talk about in discussions is to be up to date on current events. The subjects don't have to be complex or require in-depth knowledge. Just try to avoid talking about the weather because it's unlikely that you or anyone else will have anything truly fascinating to say unless you're a meteorologist. 7. Asking open-ended questions. Most people enjoy talking about themselves, not necessarily because of egotism, but frequently because it's a topic that's safe and they know a lot about. Ask simple questions if you're having trouble coming up with something to say. A level of personal involvement is demonstrated through asking questions, which makes the other person feel cared for. So how can you come up with the right questions? Find hints. It can be done by just paying attention and attentively observing the person. For instance, you could compliment their hairstyle by saying your hair looks amazing. Which hair products are you using? The secret is to ask open-ended questions that encourage discussion rather than questions that just elicit affirmative or negative responses. This encourages further explanation from the other person, keeps the conversation moving, and allows you to learn more about their personality. 8. Go for compliments. People enjoy hearing positive comments from others just as much as they enjoy hearing themselves talk. It's easy to start a conversation by complimenting someone, and it also helps you to stay in their memory. You can improve your likelihood of being remembered and loved by complimenting someone on a particular aspect of their appearances, such as their smile, jewelry, or shoes. 9. Rephrasing what they say. If you don't feel particularly connected to the issue being discussed, talks may become less engaging. Awkward silences may result if you lack understanding of the subject and find it difficult to contribute your viewpoint. Rephrasing what the other person has stated is a smart strategy in this situation. If someone is explaining something foreign to you, like a demanding job or career, they may be aware that you are unfamiliar. You establish a sense of interest and rapport by repeating what they say or asking for more information. This not only demonstrates that you are paying attention to what they are saying, but it also provides them the opportunity to point out inconsistencies, and your interest makes them want to tell you more. 10. Sharing some personal details. Sharing personal information might feel awkward to certain people. Introverts are particular. But the other person will see that you want them to get to know you if you share little details, regardless of how unimportant they may seem. It's important to speak up with confidence and not worry too much about how you come across the words. People remember how they felt in your presence more than anything else during a conversation rather than what was actually stated. 11. Telling your story. Before asking them to share their tale, it might sometimes be more effective to share a little of your own story. You can share what happened to you before if facing a similar situation. For instance, I waited at the airport for 5 hours the other day. I hope this airplane will arrive on schedule today. Most people will open up to you and join the conversation if you show honesty in your words and sentiments. 12. Remaining optimistic and keeping an open mind. Have you ever encountered someone who was constantly complaining? It isn't very pleasant, right? On the contrary, a person who maintains an optimistic attitude and displays an open, sincere perspective on their environment seems to naturally entice others. Positive thinking is, of course, easier said than done. It takes some conscious effort to maintain an optimistic mindset. You must strive to be highly self-aware and pay attention to how you respond in various circumstances. Try to change your conduct whenever you notice a tendency towards negativity in your communication. You'll gradually notice that you are more self-assured and as a result, appear more endearing to others around you. 13. Not holding back your enthusiasm. Your initial instinct could be to hold back your enthusiasm, keep your hands in your pocket when you want to gesture, and generally maintain your cool. However, when you display passion through hand gestures, facial emotions, and speaking in a variety of tones and volumes, people tend to respond to you more favorably. This makes conversations more engaging, and we would all prefer to be around someone entertaining and vivacious over someone uninteresting and lifeless. Number 14. Never assume that everyone will agree with you. Research on social psychology demonstrates that many of us partake in the assumed similarity bias. It is risky to presume that simply because you are against a political party, the person you're talking to is. However, a good dialogue might come from a heated debate. But if you simply assume that everyone feels and thinks the same way you do, you'll probably start on the wrong foot and wind up with something bad in your mouth. 15. Knowing when not to talk. Sometimes it can be awkward to be silent. Your natural tendency could be to talk during that awkward silence. But there are moments when it's preferable to keep quiet. On an airline, you might wish to speak to the individual sitting next to you to pass the time if you're bored. But if they're giving you clear signs that they don't want to talk to you, you should find something else to do to pass the time. Someone who is avoiding eye contact is probably not feeling like communicating. A person who is reading or using headphones is likely content to keeping quiet as well. Although it can be scary, talking to strangers doesn't have to be. With these techniques in mind, you can initiate a conversation with ease. You might even lose track of your initial awkwardness once some time has passed. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of the video. What do you think of today's video? Did you find this content relatable? Please let me know your thoughts by leaving some comments down below. Thank you for watching this Thrivetastic video. So if you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this awesome Thrivetastic video for you to watch next.